Welcome everybody. We will be talking about how to organize and implement the OSHA policy or the occupational safety and health hazard analysis that comes around it. So we talk about how to organize, how to implement the policies around it. So let us understand the scope of these presentations today. We'll introduce to the system completely, the system views that we are going to present to you. As far as occupational safety and health is concerned, the application management system, what are the administrative do's and don'ts, what are the principles that we need to follow it out. We'll take a review of the existing system and then probably propose an upgrade or a different approach to the occupational safety and health policies are concerned. So remember, what are the essential elements is also comes under the purview of this particular presentation. So what is a system? An orderly setup of component that works together for a certain purpose, or should I say a central objective that comes around it. We are looking towards an objective, a particular aim of the components of work that have been assigned together. So what are the components? Let's say it's a heart and blood vessels, artery, veins and capabilities. This is in terms of the blood circulatory system that is there. Then we have the purpose to transport blood, which contains oxygen and nutrients to all the different parts of the body, and thereby to carry the wastage away to be filtered out of the body at kidney. That is what we actually do around it. So we have this transportations of oxygens and vital nutrients to different part of the body or different organs, and probably to discard the waste that needs to be filtered out of the body as the case might be. So occupational safety and health management system, what exactly is it all about it? It is all about plans and implementation, or should I say the steps that comes around it. We need to plan those steps time and again. Purpose to ensure safety, health, and welfare of the workers, to comply with the regulation. The regulations are whatever been mentioned by the government of the proposed occupational safety and health is concerned. So we need to comply with the legalities of the land that is out there. So why? The question remains why? Why a system is required? Because at many a times, if managed together, it will be or it can be effectively managed. It becomes economically viable. The delivery of this service become much more proficient and customer centric, and overall health of the society improve. So this is what we need to go around it. The other requirement is the complex data set that gets accumulated, the complex information which needs to be taken into account at all times from different part of the segment of the society, different part of the body. It enriches the body of knowledge, and that is what we are looking into it. That is what we actually say forward. So thereby we require a system often organizes and simplifies complexity. A system often filters out the noise from the vivid randomness of the data that comes around it. A system brings out the information, brings out an order, a structure, and probably dedicate itself towards a desired objective activity. So let us understand with the PDCA activity that we keep on saying about it. PDCA is policy, plan, do, check, and act. This is what we keep on talking about it. So what's the policy? We need to do the first steps of system planning of occupational safety and health objectives, what needs to be done, what is being expected. Then we talk about responsibilities and accountability during the execution part. This is where the manpower are being directly affected. Definitely after the second step of PD, we come to the next step of being evaluating whether the things which we are doing are in accord to the principles set aside altogether. So this is basically a performance management systems of performance measurement or investigation or auditing, whatever you want to do around it. So after plan we do, after doing we check, and after checking if there are we find any differences, anomalies between the standards and the actual, probably we start acting or reacting in the purpose of taking corrective actions, preventive actions, and if everything is improving and everything is going as per plan, we strive for a marginal improvement, a continual improvement in the policy. If everything can be done, we hasten the process altogether so the reactive time gets lessened. So that is what a typical occupational self safety and health management system is all about. It OSHMS, the management system that we keep on saying about the component, the plan, the do, the check, the act purpose. So what are we talking about? It occupational health safety management system, such as which has been componented as management system 1722 in the year 2003 and occupational health and safety as a system we talk about in 18,001 are based on quality management checks. This is again based on the same principle. It should be the way this figure out comes out here. It is plan, do, check, and act. So where do we plan? Start the planning purpose is when we have the inputs around it. This is where we talk about the vision, we talk about the hazard, we talk about the legislation, and the third party inputs or the different consultancies viewpoint altogether. Thereby helps us to identify the overall objective, the hazard, the arrangement that needs to be done. Yes, after the initial planning, after the initial strategization, we start implementing in terms of enforcement, in terms of procedures, in terms of supervisions, responses, and so on and so forth. So we need to do this doing around it. Now, basically, once we start planning and implementing it, it leads to what? It leads to policy objective. Definitely, for matter. What does it lead to? A better, healthy life, a better and a safe environment, of improved productivity, a definitive improvement in corporate image building. So these would be the objective that comes around it. Now, based if there are any discrepancy between standards and actuals, which might exceed the standard thing, we strive for marginal improvement and incremental improvement, definitely. But if it is not up to the standard, we have to monitor, we have to surveillance, we have to inspect, we have to retrospect what exactly can be done, and this can be done only when there is an audit in place, when there's a recording of the data, the analyzing of the data comes around it. Wherein we come and take actions around it, and that is what the act part comes around. So this is what the occupational health safety and management system work around. So we'll talk about the existing occupational safety health management system. There are two occupational safety health management system standard. One is the 18,001 occupational health and safety management system. The standard was established in the year 1999. It is still widely in use and certifiable. Please understand, it is very much certifiable, widely in use. MS management system of 1722 in the year 2003 was published in the year 2003 and definitely acts as a standard guidance as of today with the help of existing management system. Now, the let us understand what was in the year 2003 that was been enacted upon. The management system model here, it is all about incremental improvement and continual improvement that comes around it in terms of policy, in terms of organizing, in terms of planning, in terms of acting or action per taken, or the evaluation. We are all striving for an incremental improvement every now and then. This is what we are striving for. Occupational health safety as a system, what happened in 18,001? We are talking about the safety management system model. Now, this is of continual improvement. Now, here the angle or the triangle goes around this way. Now, it goes improvement into a higher orbit if you want to go around it. From occupational health and safety policy to planning. Probably from planning, we need to lead to implementation and operation. Then, thereby, the check-in and the corrective actions, the management review system, and continuous improvement, which happens. Remember, 18,001. It is all above improvement, and we are striving for improvement from day one, day 100, day 1,000, and n number of days that follows around it. This is only going to improve the overall quality of the life as the health and safety measures takes place. Policy. promoting health and preventing accident, diseases and other works related health effort. That is what of the first guiding principle. Complying with OSH or occupational safety and health legal requirements, another requirement as per the law, as per the law of the land. Recognizing the occupational safety and health performance is an integral part of the business performance. It tells, it earns, it precedes the reputations or a goodwill that it tends to earn together. We are talking about the workers and the representative as often being consulted as possible, allocating the work that comes around it. Here we need to understand what is going right and what is not going right, not right. We are striving for continual improvement. Yes, this is what we are looking at. So, what do we start with it? First and the foremost is the initial review. Compare. Now, we have certain things to be compared. There are certain points that needs to be compared. Let's say from position A, we strive to come to position B. So how do we go across with it? So a requirement of a relevance legislative dealing with occupational health and safety management issues, best practices and performance in your industry sectors and other appropriate section. Now thereby comes around the efficiency, the effectiveness and the resources devoted for OHS management as we go around it. So this is the initial review. This is where we need to understand where are we standing. Is this the part that we are standing? Is this the part we are ascribed to stand around it, or probably are striving for? So that is what we need to. So the objective based on the initial reviews, absolutely it has to be based on the initial reviews and has to be consistent with occupational safety and health policy, which should be measurable and quantifiable objectives. When I say about quantifiable objectives, it is always the smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based, time-bound, smart objective that needs to be carried forward. Communicate objective to all relevant functions and levels of and thereby. So we talk about organizing, responsibility and accountability of occupational safety and health performance by the managers, for the managers, and done along with the managers and supervisors. So this is a employee-centric event that needs to be percolated, and everybody should take participants in it because it is for the goodwill or it benefits the general employees at large. So competence and training of the employees needs to be done. Definitely, yes. Management system, the documentation part needs to be established, needs to be maintained, needs to be chronologically. So we talk about the procedures. What should be established in terms of procedures when we are communicating with the external stakeholders, when we are communicating within the organization, whom to report, how to report, where to log in your issues, and so on and so forth. So we need to set the standard operating procedures in place. Cooperations of occupational safety and health aspect between the employers, the management, and the workers, the three-party, the tripartite agreement that needs to go around it. It is the employer, management, and the. Let us talk with the implementation of identifying hazards. This is very important in terms of preventive, protective measures implemented in order of priority. Procedures must be relevant to be identified altogether. Before any changes, assess risk, take steps, and inform employees before implementing. Have an emergency preparedness response arrangement. This is what we are looking at. Procedures for purchasing and contracting is of vital importance. Talking about the monitoring and the measurement, this is where the performance measurement comes in. Accident, disease, and incidents investigation. What we are talking in terms of audit. So this is where we have to measure everything: the performance, the accident, the auditing, and the review from time to time, if required on a regular interval, and that would set the ball in place in motion. So actionable elements are what? Are corrective actions or preventive actions, or definitely the continual recruitment improvement that we are looking into it. So there are two actions that can be taken for. One is a preventive, that is prior to the incident or prior to any accident it occurs, and the other one is reactive or corrective action. That means after the incident or things like that. Remember, at the end of the day, it is continuous improvement that striving for. So, Management System 1722 in the year 2003 requirements are policies, organizing, planning and implementation, evaluation and management review. These are the things that will comprises essentially for everything under MS 722 2000. Now, talking about the policies, we have to have a written occupational safety and health policy. It should be written black and white, and everybody should have an access to it. Management has to commit themselves to promoting the health of the health and preventing accident, diseases, and other work-related health effects in the workplace, and complying with occupational safety and health legal requirements and other requirements that have been dictated by the various government, be it the provincial government, be it the federal government, be it the international regulation that keeps on changing from time to time. We need to adhere to it. The management must commit themselves towards once and for all. We will be talking about it in terms of the workers, the representative and consultation while making the workplace rules, the regulation, providing necessary resources to ensure the workplace is safe and enjoyable for the employees to work for. Management as a whole is responsible for occupational safety and health, ensuring that the management of workers are competing to carry out their tasks, especially the hazardous ones. Especially, remember, this is what everybody will detest from doing. So we are talking about employees being informed about the hazards. They are fully aware as to what kind of tasks they are interested upon it and what they are going to implement about it. Their working in procedures. What are the safety measures that are in place? Management must. It is a requirement as far as transparency is concerned to promote safety. Hazardous identification assessment is made on the basis of occupational safety and health management. Preventive protective measures, as in personal protective equipment (PPE), must be included, must be implemented. Having an emergency preparedness and responsibilities in place does away with a lot of detrimental effect altogether, or eventually the wrong can be deferred. So we talk about the procedures in terms of purchasing, contracting to ensure safety and health requirements are incorporated in purchase materials and equipment as well as in contracting activities. Occupational safety and health management activities must be planned and performance targets set together. What we are talking about it, we are talking our management programs, our occupational safety and health issues needs to be continuously monitored and reported. Investigate work related injuries, ill health, diseases, incidents and impact of occupational safety and health performance every now and then. So, how do we have this thing in place? One way to have surprise audit or definitively a regular audit. Things will always be in order. Management must review its activity to ensure that occupational safety and health risks at workplace are at an alarmingly level, at a high level. The programs are efficient. The performance targets have been met and been improved upon with the passage of. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.